guys, Dorothy here with Done by Dorothy, and we're starting to work today on our recipe journal, and we're using the Carta Country Kitchen, which has just some gorgeous papers from the florals to like animals to, well, this is upside down, but preserves to just, in the garden. I mean, there's just a ton, chickens and milk caps and daisies and stripes and polka dots and florals. I mean, there's just a ton of different pages here. Really love this kit. I love that whole country feel, with the colors. So that's like the basic color palette we're working with. Or, I mean, if you wanted to, go more, like I said, in a floral type way. Let me find a floral page. That's pretty much the palette we're working with. So it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So we're going to do this one a little bit different. Normally I take my pages, put all of my coffee dyed pages together and all of that, set my signatures up, and then we build in the signatures after we've pretty much already created them. The problem with the recipe journal, is there's so much to add that I don't want to pre-plan my signature out. I would rather build everything I want to, and get everything together that I want to put in it. Then I can sort of set and plan what I'm going to do and where I'm going to put it. So some journals, I make the signatures, put them in the binders, and I'm good to go. Or put it in my covers, I'm good to go. Throw my ephemera in, and it's there. But occasionally you come across a journal that's not just a stereotypical built journal. It's, there's customized signature size, or, maybe, you have to go beyond the 1 signature, 2 signature, 3 signatures. Maybe you're going to need 7 signatures. That type of thing. So you just don't know really what you're going to need. So we are going to build this instead of from, the outside of the signature in through the signature. We're actually going to start from the inside and work our way out. So today we're going to work on making some tags. And I do have some tags that I've got pre-cut for that. I'm going to go over a few basic things. Of course, we have our papers, and I have been cutting mine out and still cutting mine out. There's so much to this kit. I mean, there's just tons of tags, and I mean, this is not short of ephemera. There's just, tons from, the old retro ladies to really nice candy jars to recipe cards to wish list, to little tags, to animals, to florals, to there's little grocery lists. I mean, there's just tons of stuff in here, and I've flipped through it before. You guys have seen it. So I've been working on cutting it out, and I've got all of this cut out. I still have a pile left. It's crazy. But I'm going to set this aside for a minute because I want to talk about something. I was going through my cookbooks and things like that, trying to pull out things that I knew I wanted to include. And I collect cookbooks, so I have a huge, huge bookshelf of cookbooks. And I actually have some that are boxed up that aren't even on shelves because I have too much. And then my mother-in-law passed away several years ago, but a couple years before that, her best friend had passed. She didn't have any children or anything, so she left me all of her books, of her cookbooks, which included like the Culinary Institute of America, from the graduating class of like 1930, which is like this thick. It's huge. So I have a bunch of very, very vintage cookbooks that are really old, into the early 1900s. I do have one that is from, I believe, 1907. I will be, if I could find it, let me grab it really fast because it's here. So there will be some freebies included with this. So instead of putting all the freebies up on one day, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to slowly build all my freebies together. I will put a link to a folder, which is going to be called the recipe book folder or the recipe journal folder, Country Kitchen recipe journal folder on Google Drive. And I will put the link. The link will be, I'll try to put it in every video. It won't be there today, but as soon as I start getting all my stuff, I have it together, but I got to get it loaded into Google Drive. It'll be a Google Drive link, and you can click on that folder, And as I add images and things like that, instead of linking individual images, I'm going to link that folder. So anything I put in that folder, you'll be able to access. So I can put my scanned items, things like that I'm putting in there, and you'll have it. So you need to check back occasionally because I will be building on that as I go. So I will be putting that. But I have this, and it's the new Royal Cookbook of Royal Baking Powder Company. And I believe it is from 1920. And I mean, it is the original book in its entirety. So I am going to scan this and include this just because there's some like really old recipes in here that are really good recipes still. But and I just think it's cute as a vintage. I probably won't do the whole book. I'll probably do the cover and the back, and then I will do some of the inside. I don't think I'm going to scan the whole entire book. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do as far as how much I'm going to include. And I did keep it in plastic because of its date. So, yep. So there's that. So I will be including some scans of that. I may include a scan of the whole entire book on my Etsy. I'm not sure, just because it's a pretty huge book. There's like 40 pages. So it's a lot of time and effort going in it. And as much as I love doing this, I can't give all my time because I don't have time to journal. So, I do have some recipes, things like that I'm going to share. Remember, if you want to submit recipes for to be included in my journal, and I'm also going to be doing a PDF to deliver, to make sure that you email those recipes to donebydorothycrafts@gmail.com. donebydorothycrafts with an S on the end @gmail.com. So I will try to leave that in the description box below too, so you can email me, any family, things like that. If you do not want to email, I am going to start a folder on the Facebook group, if you're a member of my Facebook group, where you can just take a picture and upload it or scan it, or type it out, whatever you want to do. But I will have a folder on the Facebook group that you can include any of your recipes in. So, once we can get all those together, I would love to print those and include those, and have recipes from everybody. So if you're from, where I'm based in the US, so if you have recipes that are specific to your area, like if you're from Ireland, Scotland area, and you do Colcannon, include that recipe, even if you have any like heritage specific recipes, include those. If you're from Australia and you have, Australian or even Aboriginal or, tribal type recipes, include those. Again, if you're Native American, you have tribal recipes, include those. Whatever your ethnicity is or whatever, I would love, for you to share, those type of things. My family loves, food from everywhere. Right now we're on this Mongolian beef kick. My kids love it. So, okay. That's enough of me rambling. I'm so sorry. Let me grab a drink of coffee because it is still early morning here while I'm filming this. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So, recipe journal. So, I got to looking through my shelves, going through my cookbooks and things, trying to find something, to sort of use. And, I wanted something that I can include, like, the hints and tips and tricks of cooking and, equivalents and substitutions and that type of thing. And I came across this book, and it says sample across the top. You can see that. This is from a long, long time ago. And I've contacted them to get a new one because I don't know what their new ones look like. And I thought it would be really, really interesting, and sort of thinking maybe not this year, but possibly next year, sort of doing or even this year, possibly, if people wanted to, sort of doing an online cookbook where people could, type in and submit your recipes. And then you have the option, to spend, $12, $19, whatever, $20 or whatever it would cost to buy you a cookbook that actually has, recipes from everybody on the channel on it, which I thought would be a great idea. So that's something we may do. We may look into. So anyway, Morris cookbooks. There's several different cookbook companies. What you want to do is, go into Google in your search engine and type in, cookbook publishers, or uh, create a cookbook printing, all of that or whatever. And it's going to pull up Morris like cookbooks, Simply Cookbooks. Simply Cookbooks is all online. There's several different cookbook places. And if you look, and it's about making your own cookbook. And, if you have do like family reunions, or your church, local, craft organizations, maybe you have a craft organization that gets together, it's a way to raise money, that type of thing. Fundraisers, through your kids' school, or if you homeschool, maybe create a cookbook and, you could sell it and, raise money to be able to, buy things for your kids or whatever. So anyway, they will send you a sample kit. And that sample kit you get, like a comb binding cookbook, which I have too, but I didn't even buy that. And maybe I did order another one like last week or so. I'm not sure with everything going on how long it'll take to get here. When it gets here, I'll sort of show you what comes with the kit so you can see it. And again, it's free. It's samples that they send out. I'm not one of those people that say go out and just get free things just to journal with. I mean, I know ordering catalogs and things like that's one thing. But if it's something you're actually thinking about, then go for it. I do a lot with my father's family. We do a family reunion every year and all that. So, I've looked into things like that for that, and church things and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, they send you a sample one, but with my sample one, they actually sent me this binder, and it says A Taste of Tradition. This was it from the Valley View Women's Club, and it has sample across it. And I'm actually thinking about using this as my binder cover. It is a 3-ring binder. It is smaller than what I like, but I'm seriously thinking about using it. Which is another reason I'm building, and then I'll go back and put it. So, I mean, it does have, this was from Morris Press Cookbooks. And, in the front, it's got food storage guidelines, general slow cooker tips, equivalents, substitutions, a roasting chart, perfect pasta, how long to cook, certain pastas. And again, it's a small 3-ring binder. And what it is, then what you get is, and this isn't in the exact order, like put together like a cookbook. It's samples of. So like, this has like the cover place where they tell about their club. A little, because you can get color photos, a recipe for the good life, a heaping cup of kindness, 2 cups of love and caring, 1 cup of understanding, a cup of joyful sharing, a level cup of patience, 1 cup of thoughtful insight, 1 cup of gracious listening, 1 cup of sweet forgiveness. Mix the ingredients together, toss in smiles and laughter, serve to everyone with love forever after. So I thought that was cute. So, that's something that they include in there. Of course, they have past presidents of their women's club, but I thought that would, that little thing right there, that's perfect. Like to go on a page or a tag or a pocket or something like that. So there's lots of stuff in here. There's a table of contents. And then they send you, let me see how many pages there is. I'm sorry, my nose is getting all swirly. There are, well, in this one at least, there's 88 pages with recipes on it. Appetizers and beverages, just main dishes, vegetable side dishes, baking things, cookies and candies, this and that. There's some funny things like elephant stew, 1 elephant, brown gravy, salt and pepper taste, and 2 rabbits, which I mean, obviously, sweet and sour dressing, barbecue sauce, just refrigerator relish, apple butter, dill sweet pickles, honey glazed snacks. So, I mean, there's that. Then, of course, there's, the table of contributors that does all that. There's some advertisements, in the back, which, I mean, you could literally cut up and use too if you wanted to. Of course, there's the order form, which would be great to throw in, to use. Then there's these pages, which I absolutely adore. I mean, seriously, I adore these. Pantry basics to have in your pantry, which I love. herbs and spices, and there's, the double pages of herbs and spices. Baking breads, and there's hints for baking breads, leavening agents, time charts, baking powder to flour, liquid to flour, that type of thing. Baking desserts, perfect cookies, pies, cakes, your time and temperature chart. Vegetables and fruit with cooking timetables and drying times. Hints for buying fresh vegetables. Napkin folding. Yes, napkin folding. Very useful in the junk journaling world. So, there's all of that. And I have this page, for some reason, it seems like it's a little darker in here than normal. I don't know if it's because of the early morning. Let me try to adjust my lighting a little bit and see if I can help a little bit. Well, hopefully that brightened it up a bit so you can see. Okay, hopefully that's a little better. So it's got different napkin folding, lily, the candle, the shield, the rosette. I'm sorry for sniffling again. And there are a little different, if you didn't want to use this page, then you can cut out here. Measurements and substitutions, which I know is a big deal. What's a pinch? 32 ounces equals 1 quart, that type of thing. Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion. Substitutions like baking powder, using baking soda and cream tartar to replace that type of thing. Equivalency chart. An apple, 1 medium apple equals 1 cup, that type of thing. Food quantities for large servings. How much, like beverages, desserts, ice cream, meat and poultry, salad, casserole, sandwiches, you need to serve 25, 50, or 100, which is great if you do like church dinners, family reunions, that type of thing. And I'm sorry, I'm casting shadows really bad too, but quick fixes, what to do if you have hard brown sugar, lumpy gravy sauces, if you're out of honey, what to substitute, that type of thing. Counting your calories, so basic calorie counts, and cooking terms. So all of those pages come in there, which are great to have to put in your journal. If you didn't want the 3-ring holes, I think, even if you're doing a regular journal, you can use that page to put in there. So, it's really, really cute, especially if you turn it over like this, you could punch holes in your page, run ribbon through, and actually, score it through here and have it where you can use it as a flip even. If you wanted to. So, there's a ton of things that you could use it for. Or, if you're going to keep it in the 3-ring binder, then you have there. I really don't mind, if I alligator mouth it like that, it's still going to be sort of cute. Okay, so then you get, let me pull this out again. You get your dividers. So like this is, and you get different type of dividers. I don't know what comes in each one. This just happens to be what's in here. So this is appetite and beverages, but this actually goes along with, it's not too far off my whole little country kitchen type thing. There's the yellows in there and of course the reds. So I don't know if I'm going to cover these or not, or just use these as a use these as a template, to be able to cut my own out of cardstock and be able to decorate them, which is what I'll probably do. But each one, you have a divider for each section, and then there's helpful hints on the back of the divider. So, that right there, and there's appetizers and beverages, soups and salads, vegetables and side dishes, main dishes, breads and rolls, desserts, cookies and candies, and this and that. And again, every section has different helpful hints for that section. And then there's a little thank you for, thank you for asking about their cookbooks, that type of thing. So this I'm going to definitely use in my journal. I love this cover, but I actually think that I'm going to keep this cover and use it for a planner journal. For the new year, we're going to be doing one at the end of the year, getting ready for next year. So I think I'm actually going to keep this for that because I find, the 3-ring binder system works really great for planners versus, the standard junk journal type hardcover or soft cover that we use. So I think I'm going to keep the binding for that, which means I have to figure out how to get my substitutions and my pasta, all of this stuff off of here. And I may just scan, I don't know. Not sure what I'll do with these yet. I may just set and type these charts out so I have them and then I can decorate them, whatever. But definitely going to use the insides of this. So that is something to think about, you know, if you're interested in that type of thing. Again, that's where I got mine from. So, you know, and you've seen what all comes in it. It's pretty crazy. And they ship it to me for free. So I can't really complain. So let me put that to the side. Okay, we're going to work about today. I wanted to work on some tags. I thought that would be a good place to sort of get started and get that vibe going. So what I did is in one of my packs of paper that I bought, I got a 12 by 12 sheet of backing on it, and it's flat on one side and then it's sort of corrugated on the other. And it's really thin, as you can see, really, really thin. It's not a thick cardboard, it's that really thin. So I thought these would be perfect for tags. They're a little bit heavier than cardstock, you know, so they can handle some elements really well. But, you know, I thought we would do 2 with corrugated side up and then 2 with the smooth side with the corrugated on the back. And then I got this 4 cards, and these measure, so you know, if you want to know where I cut them at, they are 3.5 by, well, I cut them 3.5 by 6, and then I cut the corners. I did have to cut a small lipped amount across around the top because I wanted them all even, you know, the same size. And then that left me with a big section that was like 5 inches, I think. 9, let's see, get in here, we're on this end because it makes it a little easier on me. Yeah, 4 3/4. It left me with a, you know, a piece about 4 3/4. And I thought, well, you know, let's do some square tags because, you know, so I just cut it in half and then cut those in half again. So I have those 4 square. So we have 4 nice size tags and 4 rectangle tags out of the backing of 1 piece. And, you know, if you buy any of your scrapbook packs or things like that, these come with it anyway. So it's free. You're not spending anything. So let's get started. I know I have, you know, my different papers here. I have tons of stuff in here that I can use. So I know I want to spray 2 of each one. So let's do a corrugated and a back, a corrugated and a back. And that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know if you can see where it's corrugated. Then you can see where it's really smooth on the back. So I'm going to do, you know, a corrugated and smooth. So let's spray 4 of them. So on 4 of them, we'll have the sprayed backgrounds with the brown base. And then these will cover. So let me grab my splat box. And let me grab my spray. So, sorry about the sniffles again. You can't win for losing. Let's see. Ooh, that yellow looks really good. So I'm going to pull this out and sort of match my colors up. So my yellows look good. Let's see. There is a pink in there. So let's use that rose color. That looks really good. We really need to use a green. There is a bright green in there that I really like. So let's pull that for our clover fields. Then we've got this turquoisey color. That's not really dark enough. Let me see if I can find. Ooh, there's an emerald green. No, that's not dark enough. Oh, that's about spot on. Just let me set these over here out of the way. So this is going to be sort of the colors that I'm using, and if you can see the rose page behind it, it's pretty much the exact palette that I need, and I'll tell you what these are in a minute, according to what, you know, colors I work. Okay, this the blue is Apple Barrel 45002E. It's called Mermaid Parade, and I'm gonna sort of shake these up while I'm telling you. Then this pink color, I'm sure you can find a. Let me see if I have an Apple Barrel. Yeah, let's use a Paradise Pink. Make sure it's more of a pink, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, we'll use. And this is, I'll try to use the apple barrel because I know that's a little bit more easier for people to find than, other colors. If you're looking for the pink, or if you happen to have Amsterdam acrylic inks, you can buy those at Hobby Lobby. This is actually the Kinesiridone Rose, is what this one is, which probably would have been my first choice, but I'm going to try to make sure I stick to the apple bottom ones because they're a little easier to have. So this is apple barrel 21957E Paradise Pink. So, oh yeah, so that'll give me everything we're using will be that apple barrel. I was trying to make sure my little nut was knocked loose there at the bottom. Okay, so this is apple barrel 21967E, and it's Clover Fields. So, if you're at Walmart and you want to make your sprays, again, there are a DIY for how I made the sprays. They're pretty cost effective, or cost effective. That's not the word for it. They're pretty, money savers. The apple barrel paints you can buy, and I'll show you what one of those looks like. This isn't one of the colors we're using, but they just come in little bottles like this in the paint section at Walmart, and they're 50 cents a bottle. So, and when you make these, you only use about a teaspoon, if that, of paint. So these last a long time to make your sprays. And again, there's a DIY on how to make those, and they're pretty cost effective. I think I make them for like less than $1 a bottle. You can take 10, let's see. You have to have alcohol, which, most people have sitting at home or you have at Walmart. And what you're going to do is put a nut, ball bearing. I don't find the glass beads work as well as the nuts, as the metal things do. But you're going to drop, whatever you're going to use to shake it. And that's used to help to get, well, this one's stuck. But if you see, the paint sort of settles in the bottom. So that little nut just helps get that all mixed in there. But you're going to, do about 2/3 full of water. And then drop your, and then you can put your paint in first or second. It doesn't matter. Put your nut, put your paint in, about a teaspoon. Just what I do is squirt it in till I see that the bottom. So I do it first, to where I see the bottom of it is covered about 1/8 of an inch. Then 2/3 water. Then from the 2/3 mark to where this starts curving in at the top, like where it curves in right here, when it gets right here, then I put alcohol, in that little bit of 1/3. So, it's very little alcohol out of your bottle. And then I put about 6 drops of glycerin. And I get this glycerin for like $3 for this bottle. It's a 6-ounce bottle. If that's all you're going to use it for is your sprays, and you don't use glycerin for anything else, this is the cheapest way to get it. I think it's like $2.69 a bottle or $3.29, something like that. I would have to look again. And it's Equate brand. Let me try to hold it up where you can see it. And you get it in the pharmacy section at Walmart is where I get mine from. And it's like by the alcohol and all of that. So, and then the little bottles of paint are 50 cents a piece. So this will last forever. I made a whole basket of sprays. And you can see, well, I don't know if you really can't show you. There's just very little gone out of that bottle because you literally just use, 6-7 drops or so. Okay, and then this is apple barrel 21964E lemon. And I'm sorry to reiterate, if you've been around for my DIYs, then, you already know this. Okay, this is the corrugated side. I just sort of want to accent those corrugated pieces again. So I'm taking the edge of my ruler because my ruler is really thin and just sort of rubbing across on the corrugated side because I want to sort of. So here's the difference when you rub your ruler. Like this one, see how there's like the one little line? This has a lot more lines. See how much deeper it is? And you can spend as much time doing that as you want. The harder you press as you put through there, is the, more deeper you're going to create those lines. And you can use your bone folder for this too. I just find my ruler works really well because it's really thin anyway. So, and my bone folder is sort of thicker. And again, this will sort of create a curve in your tag, and I'm not after the curve, but I am after that deep ridges. See how, now see the difference in the two? So that just really created that real nice deep ridges. And I'm going to do the same thing with my other tag because I like that look. And that's something you don't have to do. I mean, you can keep it. I just really like the way that looks. So I'm just going to take a little bit of time here and do this because I like sort of the texture that it gives me. And forgive me again for sniffling. I don't mean to, but if I stopped every time, I felt like I had to. And the thing of it is, I'm sniffling. There's nothing there, but it just, the concept that it's there is aggravating. But so we'll do this and get these done, and then we'll spray them, and we'll have these 4 covered. And I'm sorry for, I know this is maybe sort of longer than normal. I didn't mean to carry on so much. Okay, so I have 4 tags. So what I'm going to do is just simply color one with each color. I think that's pretty easier. So my indented one, I'm actually going to use the Mermaid Paradise. And I'm going to grab my drying gun because it'll just sort of help me speed this up some. So I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. Okay. And this doesn't take very long to dry. I'm grabbing a baby wipe, so give me a second. And I like drying it because you can literally see what it looks like. And then you know if you want to add a little bit more color to it or not. And if you dry it, I like drying mine in my splat box because it sort of dries the background of my splat box. And that way I don't have to worry about any of it, catching up on anything else. Now, you don't have to, but I actually want to spray the back of mine too because I want that to carry through. And then I'm going to make sure I wipe. Always make sure you wipe the little part at the top. That will keep you from getting clogged. And I know I go over that sort of every time I use my sprays, and I'm sorry if it's repetitive for you, but it's probably one of the biggest things because if not, you'll have to continually replace your bottles. And these bottles I got off of Amazon. I got 24 of them for like $9, I think. So yeah, I literally have like $1 in a bottle of spray, which, if you use Tattered Angels or is it Tattered Angels? Yeah, I think so. Or, any of your distress sprays or anything like that. And I do have distress sprays too. So, I can't say, but distress sprays do, different than just paint. Okay. And then, okay, this one I'm doing, I guess it doesn't matter right now. Actually, let's do this one and the pink. No. Yeah, I will because the yellow and the green are sort of the same spectrum on the other. And the pinks, I find you have to use a little bit more. They seem like they, I don't know, they don't, the paint doesn't, although I sprayed a little bit too much on there. I did that one a little too thick. But it'll dry. Nonetheless. And, you know, you can create that sort of drained, runny look where it looks like it ran. I'm sorry for taking so long doing this, but there's a lot to go over. I probably should have did the beginning part talking about the paper and the cookbook and all as a separate video, but I didn't. So, you know, if we only get half of these, then we'll finish the other half and move on to the next part. It's not a big deal. Okay, we're going to turn this over. Spray and dry, and then we'll move on to our rectangle tags. I want some more. I just wanted to pull out more of that pink. So yeah, we will, there's a ton of ephemera that comes with this kit. So, you know, adding stuff for tags and stuff like that will not be a problem, you know. Okay, so there's our pink. Again, let me wipe my bottle, put my lid on. So I'm going to set these to the side, but with me because I know that those are on my color spectrum. So, or yeah, and pretty much my spectrum for this journal. So, you know, I can go back to using those to spray the back of my pages or, you know, whatever I want to spray. Love the color of that green. It's so pretty. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm not sure why I'm casting so much shadow. I guess the box is doing some of that, but then this creates a very textured pattern, the green does, for whatever reason. And it seems like certain colors do certain things, so it's something you sort of have to play around with, and the more you play around with it, the more you'll get adjusted to what exact colors do what. And again, I'm going to go ahead and wipe my bottle while I'm drying, trying to save on time. And like this one, when I cut it, it was where the corner of the paper was, or the cardboard had been, so it had sort of got somewhat like crinkled a little bit on the corner, but I'm sort of going to let that play with it just to sort of add more of a 3D element to the tag. I'll show you what I mean when I see how like here where it got all crumpled in the corner where it's like hit something. And I'm just going to use that to my benefit. It just sort of ages it. So when I ink it up, did I color the back of that too? Yep. Okay, so then we've got the yellow. Some bright yellow. That would be really cute with some of the little chickens. And I'm going to use vintage photo ink on this one just to sort of add that antique element because it is so bright. I don't want to, you know, add green or pink or blue or whatever. So sort of the way it goes. Okay, turn it over. Let me spray this side. And you can see, you know, depending on how you push it, you can sort of create different textures by how you squirt the liquid or your paint. And then let it set for a little bit, and that'll cause more of a pile. I don't really want this to blow, so I'm going to hold my gun up a little higher. You know, the closer I got to it, the more pressure that the heat, the gun would put on it so it would start shifting and moving around. And I want this to sort of be more puddled up, sort of like a, I don't know, like a more of a glazy look to it. Just to create more of like, I don't know, more of a deeper tone to it. Okay. So we have all 4 of our tags sprayed. I'm going to set that to the side now. And anytime you spray liquids, you're going to have sort of a steamied effect if you're working on a glass mat, which is what this is. So we have our yellow, green, pink, and blue. So I have to sort of look and decide. I want that for the front. That for the front. That for the front. Definitely want that for the front. And so like any of these on the back, you can write on them because they're paper. So that makes it nice. So I don't have to put anything on the back. I literally can leave it blank and you can write over top of it. So that paint just added sort of that back to it. So let me pull over here. Let me get all my big papers out of the way. All the ones we can't fit. I don't really like. I don't like that. So I'm going through trying to find something, anything that I think that I like, that I want to put on there. The farmhouse, sweet farmhouse. Oh, I like sort of like that for the green. Although I think this little farm on the green would be. I like that. Definitely a little yellow ducky, no. And like I said, there's all different like that. So I'm sort of going through, just sort of deciding what I want to use on here. I need something with the blue. Something that I like that has the blue in it. Oh, I sort of like that on there. Sort of like that. Sort of trying to decide. Oh, I sort of like that rooster on there with the yellow. I think I do like the yellow on there. I like it sort of to, what is the word I'm looking for? I think I do like this home memory thing on there. I don't know. Maybe the flowers, not flowers. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to use. I sort of like that there. Sort of like how it's got that opposite tone. Sorry guys if I look like I'm sort of trying to decide what I like here for these. I think I do definitely like this. I like that because it sort of creates a floral tone. I actually like both of these together. And I really like this on here. I like the yellow contrast. So I think we'll use those. Let me grab some cheesecloth. Ooh, let me see what I got. I got a piece of burlap I could use. Sort of looking and seeing. I have a couple different cheesecloths. see what I have that I like. Maybe that sort of goes along with that really good. I actually have that, which is an old shirt, but I think that goes really good with that. I sort of have that, which might go with that, but I sort of like the red with that. Trying to see what all I have here that I could use. Got tons of stuff here. Actually, like that goes along with that sort of too. Okay, let's start with those, and we'll work around with that. And I do have these little doilies that I got from my mom the other day. Okay, so this is just a baby wipe that I wiped paint up with, and then I just throw them to the side and let them dry, and then they sort of get a crinkled look, but at the same time it has lots of nice texture and color on it, so it works. So okay, first off, grab my scissors. I'm just going to cut a piece. I'm going to cut this to the first seam, just so I have a little bit up here instead of a big huge bunch. And that red came from, I think, from my mom too. So let me set this stuff all to the side. Okay, I really like this yellow, and I think I'm going to do something with this burlap. Sort of like that. Maybe I like the fact I can write on this. I think I like that. And then we give it a tab at the top. I really want to go with more of a simplistic feel. And I put just a little bit of yellow on there, enough to sort of make it look like it had faded and it's lost its yellow. And I'm going to pull strings on the edges. Sort of uncurl. I'm not sure what word to use when you're doing it to burlap. And I'll put those to the side because, never know what you could use those for. Actually, I do know what I can use this for. I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist these. But actually, let me unfold it. I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac. Sort of even it out a little bit more. And just sort of in the center. If I can get my glue to run. There it goes. I'm just going to wipe some in here to sort of hold it. Just to sort of glue it as I'm twisting. Okay, and then I'm just going to twist. And that Fabri-Tac in there is going to sort of hold. Okay, I'm going to twist and lay it over itself. And then let's put that on the corner, right like that. So where it's twisted, I'm going to grab my stapler. Go right over top of it. And sometimes I like to do a couple little staples. I didn't push that hard enough when I did it. So I'm just going to go through and sort of push those in the back, make sure they're down. I do want to grab my distress ink before I get going too much though. And again, this is the vintage photo. I'm going to ink around the edges. just because I want to create that, you know, vintagey farm feel, but without, you know, making it too drab or dull. Sort of want to keep that whole 1950s vibe. My mom was born in the 50s. I'm not 45 yet, so yeah, some of you guys are like, I thought you were older than that. I'm not. I'm a baby. At least that's what I get told by a lot of you guys. And again, I'm just inking around the outside edges because I really want to create that sort of vintagey, worn feel. Let me put the lid back on this just because I have so much fabric and things over here. Okay, so since this has green in it, I am going to use a little bit of this green cheesecloth underneath. I'm just going to cut a chunk of that off. Okay, I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac and I'm going to do this in glorious Dorothy fashion. I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to spread my Fabri-Tac out. Lay my cheesecloth on there, whatever way I want to. So make sure it sort of stretches out. There we go. Then I'm going to put this sort of sideways, but I am going to, hold on just a second. I'm getting close to the end of my bottle of glue, so I thought I would cut my tip open a little more and maybe that would help. We shall see. Yeah, that's a little bit more out. Not a lot, but a little. I guess I could cut some more off of it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a nice helping, since we're doing a recipe journal, I'll say helping of glue on here because I want to make sure that my burlap is adhered. And I don't want this to be truly diamond-esque, or I don't want it square. I don't want it just like a diamond. I want it just sort of tilted to the side. But I want to make sure, I'm actually going to cut this down a little bit. Let me pull some more threads here. And these I'll just cast to the side for a little bit. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to put this square. So sometimes it doesn't take a lot. Now I do have the option on the back of my tag. I could cover it with coffee dyed paper. I'm actually going to leave it as a cardboard because you can write over top the acrylic paint when it dries. And I just think it sort of adds more of a natural vibe to it. Let's see. I'm actually going to pull this slightly down towards the bottom and I'm going to center it since everything else is sort of helter-skelter. And some pressure on it. And there we go. And so we've got your little journaling space here. You could actually journal up here. And then, of course, you've got the whole back to journal on. So that's really cute. Okay. So we've got that one done. Let's move on to this one. First thing, I'm going to go ahead and ink it. And like I said, this one I'm not going to do with this journal. I'm not going to go, okay, this is what we're doing today. I'm just going to work through as we go. I know today was, sometimes it takes longer to prep, and then once it gets to, you know, you get it together, it doesn't take that long. And I thought about going live and working on it some. So, you know, I know that there's certain ones, you know, that are wanting to watch and they're waiting for specifically the recipe journal. So, you know, if you are, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know. let me know. Okay, well, we'll rip it. Let me know if, if you would like to do some lives, because I know I try to put them where they're easier to access, and I know I can put them in a list. So, if you're okay with some going up as live, I can make sure I title them that for the recipe and the recipe binder journal, I guess, depending on what you're going to use. And again, like I said, I still don't know. I'm still out in the air online as far as cover wise. So that'll probably be the last thing that I use. Let's see. I really like that, but I think I do want some cheesecloth behind it. And I think I'm actually going to use white because of the white in the flowers. I don't know. Do I want to use white? Yeah, I think white would sort of help take away some of that color look there. Let me see. Pull this across here. Let me. So yeah, if you would want me to do some lives that go along with the recipe journal, let me know. I have journals I work on the side besides the ones I'm actually working on. So, I've got two other. Well, I've got a digital that I'm working on that is just an absolutely time-consuming one. And then I have a digital kit. Well, I cut it out last night and inked it up in all that I'm working on. So I got tons of stuff that we're working on. Trying to, put some stuff together for you guys. I'm going to put that on there square. And, like once you get these together, they go by, it goes by pretty fast. And some of these, I'm not sure if I'm going to use them as like tucks or, and there's that one. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them as tucks or if I'm going to use part of this baby wipe that I had. These are pretty hard to tear. These are the Equate brand. They're almost like fabric. So, if you don't have cheesecloth, or you don't have the extra money to buy cheesecloth, go to Walmart and buy a pack of the Equate brand. They have purple on them. I buy the unscented, whatever, because I don't want everything to have that after. I'm going to leave that on there. But these were great. It's cheesecloth, and they're a lot more cheaper. What was I going to say? Oh, I need to eat this. Wow. Rattled myself and forgot what I was going to say. Oh, well, I'll remember in a minute, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So we have a lot of stuff going on as far as new journals. But yeah, if you'll see some live. Of course, we have our wonderful Wednesday live that's going to be going on this Wednesday. Me and Miss Penny will be on there, and she's working in a journal, and I'm actually working in an Oprah magazine, and sort of converting those into junk journal idea books. So, you can go back on there and reference, and try to get new ideas of how you like to see things. Sorry, I'm cutting my bottle down again. Trying to get more out faster, so it takes less time sitting here. I'll do that in a minute, and there'll be so much pouring out I won't be able to control it. Yeah, so they're basically idea books, where we're using different ideas to create. I love how that turned out. That did really good. And so, that's the baby wipe, and you can see it really does a good job. Put this down here, and I think I'm gonna put that sort of like that. I need to drop it down so I can get my holder for my. And I think I want to put cheesecloth behind that just to sort of accent it. Do I want to put this? Yeah, I think I like it like that. So I'm actually going to put the glue on the back of my card here. Open my cheesecloth up because I think I've got 2 layers. Yep, I do. I've got 2 layers. So we'll just put that like that. And then that glue goes right through the cheesecloth on there. And push down. And again, I don't know if I'm going to use these as tucks or tags. So I'm going to go ahead and not put a hole punch in the top just in case. I want to use them on a corner. I can add my toppers later. So yep, there's that one. So cute. I love it. And I like the whole vintage feel that I'm getting from this. But yeah, we have a lot of things going on. I have several huge projects and that I'm working on right now. Getting together for you guys. So, lots of things coming in the future. And, I want to give a shout out to my mod/admin team for our Facebook group, because I cannot do this without them, you guys. They handle all of most of the Facebook stuff, and they're a sweet team. As admins, we have Miss Penny that helps me as an admin. We also have Catherine Richards, Catherine, that's on here. She's on our lives a lot, and Miss Catherine handles our membership and doing stuff on the page. We have Miss Trisha, and she, handles daily stuff on the page and just sort of helps keep things there alive and going. She's super, super helpful. And we have, let's see, of course, my daughter Elena helps as far as moderating our YouTube channel. Let's see, who did I get? Okay, I've got Penny, Catherine, Trisha, Elena. Then let's see, that was 3. I'm not meaning to forget everybody, but I'm sure. Oh, and then we have Miss Amy. She is there, although she comes and right now she has a lot going on. So she's there even though she's not there. I actually think I'm going to try to use this as a topper for this. And then we have Miss Joetta is on there, and she does a super good job helping. All of my girls do, but I don't, ladies, whatever you want to call them. They all do such a good job. And then we have Miss Kim and Claire that helps out. we throw Claire in there. Claire is actually Kim's cat. And she does our dream tree on our Facebook site. So, I mean, everybody has their little job that they do. And, you know, there's that one. So they all do a great job. Okay. So we're an hour on this video, and I try to keep them down to an hour because I try to do things fast. So we are going to go ahead and stop at this one, and the other 4 will be the next video. So, and then we'll start into the next phase. We're going to be doing those 4 tags, and we'll be doing our grocery list, which is going to be really, really cute. You'll see it. It's sort of a little DIY along with it. So, and if you're creating with me as we go on these, I will, you know, the tags, I mean, obviously we're just using ephemera and stuff for them. For the grocery list things, you will need a piece of chipboard or slightly heavy cardstock to use as a backer. And you'll also need a silicone spatula and a glue gun. So let's do, we've got our rooster tag. He's so cute. I like it. And of course, we have our floral. And we have our home memories, little bread pan, a little sifter, and a rolling pin. And then you've got the little thing, or the little banner with flowers and butterflies. It's family forever, for always, then no matter what. So it's so cute. So those 4 all turned out really, really cute. And of course, they have the painted backgrounds. And then these, when we come back, we'll actually use our paper backing on these. So it'll create a whole different set, a whole different vibe with the way we're doing it, because they're 2 different concepts. And I'm pretty much going to go through as we're doing ephemera. And when I do it, I'm going to do everything in groups of 4. I'm not doing 4 signatures. I'm not pre-planning 4 signatures. I just think 4 seems a little bit more rounded for me. That seems to be my thing. I do things in 4s. So that's how we're doing it. So we have 2 regular standard. And again, poking holes and putting twine in it, we can throw in, you know, the ribbon at the last minute. So I'm not really worried with that. Or if we're going to use them. I mean, these honestly are wide enough that if you glued around this side, and this side, it would be perfect for a tuck. Or, you know, even if you did 2 sides and use it as a tuck, but I like a little bit more security by having them all. So those are our first 4 ephemera pieces. And hold on, I'll show you what I'm using. Okay. Clean this up. You can use any kind of tote. I'm just using this. It's yeah, wow. It is a well, it's 9 inches, I think. No, it's 10 inches. It's 10. So, but it, like, you know, you hold your folders in it. So I'm just going to use it. And as I get my ephemera done, I'm going to stack it in here. So, you know, when we get done, I'll have all of my ephemera in here. And literally then once we build it, it's just pulling them out and throwing them in, pulling them out and throwing them in. So this is going to go right here next to me so I can keep track of it. Again, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again, like I said, for the tags and our grocery list next time. So stay safe, be healthy, and we will see you again next time. Have a great day. This is Dorothy. Bye.